Okay, so we got our travois here, and you see how it's constructed. V-shaped, lashed together, two support beams lashed on at the bottom, and up top's the handle, which you want to make sure that your support beams are on the top, because it's going to be dragging. And so if they're on the bottom, they'll be dragging onto the ground, and that could cause it to break up. Plus, it's going to be supporting what you're carrying. This is the handle. One person can stand in the middle to drag this, or two people can stand on either side and pull it up for to make it a little easier. The support handle needs to be lashed underneath it, because this is what's going to be supporting the weight up. If you have it on top, all that weight's going to be supported by the lashings, and you can run the risk of breaking it if your lashings would fail. So we're going to go ahead. We harvested a bunch of Phragmites, and first thing we're going to do is lash the Phragmites together in one big bundle, and then we're going to lash that to the travois to take it back up to our campsite. Alright guys, it's morning of day 10. As you can see, I moved my bench over there. I reinforced it a little bit more, moved it over the other side of the fire so I have more walking room here. And put myself a little grate there for a little cooking stove. And, Alan was out here yesterday working on the thatching of his shelter. But what I want to show you this morning is what I made for breakfast. This right here is corn pudding, cornmeal pudding, however you want to call it. I'm sure there's different names for it. But the way I made mine, so I brought about maybe a third of a canteen cup of water to a boil. And while I was bringing it to a boil, I had a tea bag steeping in. Not to make a strong tea, but just to give it a little bit of flavor. As soon as the water reached the boil, I took the tea bag out, and what I put in it was I'm not sure exact measurement, probably a tablespoon or a little bit more, but these are old stainless steel U.S. Army spoons. But I put 5 heaping scoops with this of organic 100% medium ground cornmeal. You know, no mix or pre-mix or anything like that. It was just straight cornmeal, medium ground. Put that in there and stirred it around while it was boiling. Broke up all the clumps and waited for it to absorb all the moisture and get thick, like a real thick oatmeal, and absorb all the water. And once it was all, the water was all absorbed, and it was probably tested it, make sure it was all soft and not crunchy, and absorbed all the water, and all the lumps were broken up. I then pulled it off the heat a little bit to let it sit for a little bit to soften even more. And then after that, I put 3 hooping scoops of raw sugar into it and stirred it until it melted. And man, I tell you, I can't even explain how good this is. If you've never had it before, you ought to try it. I'll put the directions once again up on the end of this clip for how to make this. But it's definitely a good little breakfast meal. I mean, this thing, I would say after it expanded, it was probably up to here, almost a full entire cup of this pudding. And man, this is a stick to your ribs kind of a morning breakfast meal here, and it's good, it's sweet, it's hot. Not that I need something hot in this hot morning, but it's good. Recommend you all to try it. I can't remember exactly, because I have a wonderful fading memory, but I can't remember if I mentioned my travois that I built. This is my travois, old Native American, a wheelless pull cart. Obviously that cross beam there, the individual would stand in the middle, pick it up by that bar, and then pull or push and drag it across. Or 2 people could stand on side by side and pull it. But back here you would have strapped whatever cargo you're carrying, whether it was your packs, logs, and you could even use this for extracting a wounded individual, an injured person, you would just move this one log up a little higher so they would be able to lay across it and not have their feet dangling. But there's other different uses for it too. I built this so I can bring some logs up here, but it definitely makes a nice little chair. I'm going to show you that here in a second. You got that my poncho liner up there kind of airing out, but you know, just sitting here like this, you know, if you were out traveling with this, you could definitely use this as a shelter, lean up against a tree like it is, and then throw your tarp or poncho over top of that, or even debris. But you can also use it as a nice little lounge chair to get up off the ground. And I'm going to put it together, then I'll be right back to show you. Okay, so I got this thing put together. I'm going to be quick about it because got another storm rolling in. But what I did was, as you saw the travois there before, the way the frame was is basically just a triangle frame, and you know, this cross beam right here. And what I did was I took my poncho liner and put it underneath. And you can use poncho liner, tarp, whatever, anytime, as long as it's some kind of material that's going to support your weight. Laid it underneath and pulled the first side over, so you can see how it's underneath. And I flip the first side over and pull it into the middle of the frame. So that's, you can see how I have it unfolded there. Pull the first side over, and it's coming down directly down the center, or a little bit further depending on how big your fabric is. But if your tarp is huge and you could wrap it all the way to that side and then take the second side and flip it all the way, that's even better. It'd be more secure. But that's as far as I can go, because now I take the second side, the right side, bring that over, flip that over top of that side as much as I can, and also try to, you don't have to, but it's a little bit more comfortable, bring the end of it, as you can see how it comes behind it, and is wrapped around, but then I bring the bottom of it over this bottom rung, and that's going to be my support. And then you can sit right in it, and what happens is your body weight puts friction on all the points, and it secures itself in place. And it's a pretty comfortable chair. Keeps you up off the ground. It's nice and relaxing. No rocks, no sticks, it's digging in your back, but it's pretty comfortable. There you go. Key point is not to slam yourself down in it. You know, you gotta be a little gentle when you sit down. Make sure it doesn't shift, but as long as you have the one flap as far over to this side as you can, and then you have the other flap overlapping that, when you sit on it, pressure goes straight down and it pulls and locks itself in place. But good night. Alright, it's still day 10, and been working on the top part of my shelter, debris, for most of the day. I'm actually going to take a break now. I'm going to go on a little scout. As you can see, I'm almost complete. I need about maybe 2 or 3 more loads of debris to completely cover it, and then a few more to get it to a good depth to where it's going to seal everything in, and then check for daylight through it, and make sure it's all patched up. But it's the progress of the shelter so far. Yep, I'm going to go off and wander a little bit, see what I can find.